I want you to picture this. You finally signed that last divorce paper. You breathe out like you'd been holding your breath for 5 years. And then you realize the real fight is still ahead of you. Not the property settlement, not the lawyers, not the legal fees. It's co-parenting when you share kids. You don't get a clean breakup. You've got a lifelong group project with someone you may never voluntarily choose to work with again. And if that relationship is tense, if it's unpredictable, or if it's hostile, co-parenting can feel less like raising children and more like trying to negotiate a hostage exchange. Today, we're talking about how to co-parent in high conflict situations in a way that protects your kids, protects your sanity, and dare I say it, it creates the possibility of a healthier post-divorce family. If you haven't met me, I'm Hayder Shikara, an Australian lawyer, TEDx speaker, and former Olympic athlete, and I'm here to explain legal principles in an easy to digest format. Let's get into it. Some conflict is normal. You're two separate households. You have different values, you have different routines, you're different people, you have different opinions on what counts as bedtime. It's normal, people disagree. But high conflict co-parenting is where communication is consistently hostile. It's controlling, it's manipulative, it's chaotic. It's where a simple question like, can you pack the asthma puffer in Johnny's bag, turns it into a 47-message saga about how you're an unfit parent and you've never cared and you never do this and you never do that. Now, the truth is you can't force the other parent to become reasonable all of a sudden. This video isn't going to be able to change them. You can't negotiate your way into someone suddenly developing emotional maturity. You can't craft the perfect email or text message that makes a person who thrives on drama go, you know what, you're right, let's be calm and child-focused. That's never going to happen, okay? The goal in conflict co-parenting isn't to fix your ex. The goal is to create a system that reduces all of the opportunities for conflict. It reduces exposure of conflict to the kids, and it increases predictability. Think of it like this. You can't change the weather, but you can put up a fence and some shelter, and you can wait out the storm underneath that, okay? So here we go, strategy time. The first big strategy is to shift from co-parenting to parallel parenting when necessary. And this is a concept that can be a total lifesaver. It often gives people the permission to stop trying to force someone into a team who simply cannot be working in a team. And co-parenting implies that. It implies collaboration, that you have shared decisions, regular communication, flexibility, a bit of teamwork. But parallel parenting is something different. It just means that each person runs their own household. They keep communication minimal, they keep it structured, and they just focus on having those smooth handovers. They're not best friends, they're not collaborators. They're kind of like two households that are in separate lanes on the freeway, and they're heading in the same direction, and that is the direction of raising a child. And if you're thinking, that sounds a bit sad because we want both parents to be on the same team, I say to that, no. What's sad is kids growing up in constant tension where every message is a battle and every handover is a scene. Parallel parenting reduces those opportunities for conflict because it reduces contact. In practice, parallel parenting looks like this. Each parent makes their day-to-day decisions when the child is with them without micromanaging the other household. You have a clear schedule, you have clear handover times, you have clear rules about communication. It's not cold, it's protective. Now, the second strategy that you can follow is using consistent communication strategies. And I say this not because you're the problem, but because having structure can be used as a shield. And in high conflict co-parenting, the biggest trap is trying to explain yourself and constantly going into long messages, justifying, defending, clarifying, adding more context. And it just gives the other person more and more material to fight. So instead of writing messages like you're writing the next Harry Potter novel, write messages like you're a customer service agent for a very, very boring company. Keep it brief, keep it informative, keep it friendly, and keep it firm. And that's the BIFF method. And I want you to picture it like this. Every extra sentence that you provide that doesn't need to be provided, it opens the door for a potential argument. So keep those doors closed. Instead of saying, I can't believe you did this again. You always do this. Last month you did this and you did that. Just write, pick up confirmed, 3:30 at school, thanks. Now, psychologically, you need to understand that high conflict people often feed on emotional reactions. And if you respond calmly, if you respond predictably, and without giving them the drama that they came to pursue and what they actually want, then you don't give them a reason to escalate it. And yes, sometimes it can feel a little bit unfair because you're saying, well, there's nothing wrong with what I'm saying, but just think of it this way. You're doing it for your kids, you're doing it for your sanity and your mental health. Now, third strategy, choose your communication channel wisely. Now, sometimes text messages can get a little bit out of hand, and I'm actually a big advocate for people using emails because emails tend to slow things down, whereas SMS, people are quite emotional and things can kind of be said on the fly. Some people use parenting apps, so that can be quite a convenient thing if you're planning for a child because there's going to be shared calendars in there. It also has got a bit of a filter, so if things start to escalate in the messages, then the app's going to prevent you from sending it. So that could also be a really good idea as well. I'm a big fan of the shared calendar feature because you can reduce a lot of disputes by putting things in the calendar, and it's going to stop the, oh, you never told me about this event, or you never told me about that. And just having it in there, it just reduces the ability for someone to over communicate things. Now, I'm going to say something that might annoy some people, and that is phone calls. I think it's a pretty terrible idea in high conflict situations. They're hard to document, they're easy to escalate, and they're great for when somebody wants to say, I never said that. When things are in written communication, there's a record. And if the parenting dispute ever ends up in front of a mediator or a lawyer or a court, all of those records matter. Strategy number 4, creating a parenting plan that is painfully specific. Now, in a low conflict co-parenting environment, you can be flexible. You might not need to stipulate every single term, but in a high conflict situation, having something that is loose and open to interpretation is going to cause problems. A solid parenting plan covers things like exact changeover times, changeover locations, who's going to drive the child to which locations, what's going to happen on public holidays, Mother's Day, Father's Day, Christmas, what times change over on birthdays, all of those things. If you leave gaps, conflict will fill those gaps. Now, you can have a parenting plan, but if you want to formalize that arrangement, you will do so through consent orders. And consent orders are made through the Federal Circuit and Family Courts. And once they're made, they're legally enforceable. So just remember, when things are ambiguous or open to interpretation, that's when you leave room for conflict to rise. Okay, strategy number 5, stop trying to win and start trying to create stability. This one is an emotionally hard one to understand, so let's be honest about it. When someone has hurt you, when they've betrayed you, or they've constantly undermined you as a parent, your brain naturally wants justice. You want acknowledgement. You want them to finally admit that they've been unreasonable. You want someone to say, yes, you're right, they're wrong, they're being ridiculous. And listen, I'm not saying that those feelings are wrong. I think it's a very human thing to experience, but don't think that going through the family law system and going through family courts and seeing a judge is going to give you the vindication that you necessarily want. What you want is stability. What you want is a calm house. You want kids who aren't constantly nervous when there's changeover. Strategy number 6, keep the kids out of the middle. This is not just a strategy, I guess it's crucial. Don't give the kids messenger duty. Don't tell them, tell your mum this or ask your dad why that. Don't start pumping them and squeezing them for intelligence. Even if the other parent does it, it doesn't justify it. Even if it's tempting to do, even if your child comes to you with information that you've been dying to ask, just keep your kids out of it. The kids shouldn't be a bridge between you and your ex. If your child is telling you something concerning, you can respond with care. You can maybe gather information appropriately and take action if safety is an issue, but avoid turning them into a detective. Remember, your job is to make them feel safe. And one of the most powerful phrases that you can use is, that's an adult problem. Say it calmly and say it often. Strategy number 7, expect the manipulation and plan for it. High conflict dynamics often involve patterns like last-minute changes or false emergencies, or one that I see a lot, the guilt trip. All of these are attempts to control you through the kids. So instead of being constantly shocked, I can't believe that they've done that, I can't believe that they keep doing this to me, try and shift your mindset to, this is a predictable pattern, it keeps happening. I will respond with a predictable structure in place. And it means you start documenting, you start journaling. Not every single thing, otherwise you're going to end up with Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, but the important stuff, things like missing changeovers, problems with returning the child, if there's any medical issues, if there were issues that happened at maybe a school or a changeover. Keep it all factual and document what happened and what was said. Strategy number 8, and this is more of anticipating in case this could happen, and that is the new partner minefield. Just know that new partners can normally trigger conflict. Even if your new partner is lovely, they're stable, they make a pizza that could bring peace to the Middle East. Make sure to keep boundaries around introductions, keep things child-focused, and avoid using your new relationship as a point-scoring exercise. So if you're in a high conflict co-parenting situation, pick just one thing to implement this week. One thing. Maybe it's switching to emails only. Maybe it's using the BIFF responses. Maybe it's drafting a more specific parenting plan. Maybe it's putting that parenting plan into consent orders. Maybe it's making handovers through school as opposed to at your house. And if you're feeling overwhelmed, start with the simplest one. Just put a delay to all of your responses. Give yourself 30 minutes or 1 hour. Let your nervous system settle before you reply. Because when you respond from calm, you make better decisions and decisions that you're not going to regret. And your kids will benefit ultimately. All right, before you go, I want to hear from you. Drop a comment and tell me what's the hardest part of co-parenting with conflict for you. Is it communication? What do you struggle with? Is it the handovers? Is it holidays? Is it the endless feeling of being on edge? Please put it in the comments and somebody else might benefit from it. If you found this video to be useful, it would mean the world to me if you could like and subscribe. Until next time, take care of yourself and see you in the next one.